you kind of look at my style, you can probably pick up on that now. But that was just kind of where my influence was. But it was like one of those things. Anybody who was a wrestler, I bowed down and I was like, dude, I'm going to be there one day alongside you. And that's what's been my driving force for, all of those years past.
Okay. Ms. Belmont, we present you the same question.
Well, I'm sitting here and I realize that, shockingly, Miss Carlisle and I have some things in common. Honestly, for probably about the same age, or probably when I was around 7 or 8, I remember watching wrestling, and I remember at the time, the only women that I ever got to see, because I had to watch wrestling at a babysitter's house. We didn't have a television until I was much older. I remember seeing Miss Elizabeth and Sensational Sherry, and they were only valets, but I realized that Sensational Sherry was not afraid to mix it up with the men and get involved. I felt like Miss Elizabeth was a shrinking violet that served no purpose except to just be looked at, whereas Sensational Sherry was, as I said, she wasn't afraid to do what she needed to do to help her man win a match.
Right.
And I remember the first time I saw women's wrestling and knew that such a thing existed, I realized that that's exactly what I wanted to do. I didn't want to be the one that just stood by the sidelines, and I believe the first match I actually did see involved Sensational Sherry, and I realized that that's what I wanted to do.
Okay, it's understandable. Sensational Sherry, Luna Vachon, two very large, influential female wrestlers to a lot of our guests from the past. So very, very understandable. This question's for Kacee. Your upcoming match you have on the 23rd against Mistress Belmont. What things do you feel you might have to do different to make sure that you leave the ring that night as champion?
Oh, different. Different from what? Different from my past 3 matches at Valkyrie? Different from any other match? I'll tell you right now, it can't be different from past matches with Miss Belmont because Mistress Belmont and I have never faced each other in the ring before. This is our first matchup ever.
Well, I figure you've seen her wrestle, and she's seen you wrestle, and you don't, want to have a pattern because then she's going to be able to guess and, kind of know what's coming next and what you're going to try. So I figure at some point you want to change it up a bit.
This is very sneaky of you because I see what you're doing. She's on the line. She's listening in, and you're trying to get me to reveal my game plan with my opponent listening in. Very sneaky of you and A for effort, but it's just not going to work. I will, however, tell you this. I invite everybody to stop, go on Facebook, go online, ValkyrieWomen's.com, go on Facebook, and let's look at the records. Let's look at the records going into the match on January 23rd. Mistress Belmont has a very respectable 2-1 record. For those of you who are a little slower, that means that she's lost a match in Valkyrie, and you had a very beautiful and shapely 3-0 record going into the 23rd. That means, again, for those of you, I'm undefeated in Valkyrie. So the fact that you're even asking me what needs to change is a little puzzling to me because seeing as though I have an undefeated record and Mistress Belmont does not, what really should have to change, gentlemen? Do I need to change anything? It looks like I've been a little more successful than my blue-haired woman over there. I just want to say that. You're not going to get me to reveal my game plan, but I will leave that out there for all of you to chew on and ponder.
Okay. All right.
I don't know why I'm so humorous to everybody tonight.
Well, basically, I guess you just put me in my place, so I have to laugh. So
I did. Wasn't that stellar? How does it feel, by the way?
It's great. I love when people call my show and put me in my place. And you guys should just ask me questions.
It's going to book me for your show again, doesn't it?
It's okay.
You're already thinking of a return.
You guys are the professionals. I'm just a fan.
Well, You said it, buddy, not me.
Miss Belmont, this question's for you. I'm guessing you're going to show the same kind of confidence now. She's, saying that basically you're the one that's going to have to try something different. So, are you going to shed the light of maybe something you might change from your prior matches, that you might come at Kacee maybe a little more aggressive, or are you going to wait for her to make the mistake? How are you going to go at this match?
Well, I've actually started going back through and researching some of Kacee's style. It's one of those things that I sit around and think, how does a fox outfox a fox? And I consider Kacee Carlisle to be one of the slyest bitches in the business. And so how do I outfox her? And this is something that I have to really consider. And in all honesty, I've upped my training, I've upped my cardio. I have begun physically preparing for a match that I'm not going to lie, I'm intimidated by this match. Going into this, I know that this is going to be a battle, because I know how protective she is of that Valkyrie women's title. And as much as I want it, I know she wants to keep it even more than I want it. And so I have to really up my game for this. So I hope that she doesn't think Mistress Belmont is coming unprepared, because I am. I'm coming for a fight, and I am going to be ready.
Okay. Kacee, now as champion,
yeah.
After the 23rd, if you leave that match as champion, do you feel that you have anything left to prove? And if you do, what are your long-term goals?
You have to forgive me. I find myself sitting here chuckling as I listen to the words that are being thrown my way. I've been doing research too, guys. Just so you know, I'm not one of those champions that sits back on my laurels and I don't sit here and do nothing. I've been doing my own research for Mistress Belmont. 100%. I have been watching it. I've been watching Friday the 13th. I have been watching all of the scary, that Freddy Krueger, that woo! I have been watching every single spooky, freaky, scary movie that they can put my hands on, so I'm prepared for your spooky tactics, because I have watched your matches and I see you with your blue hair and your leather getup, and it's very, very creepy. Let me tell you, I'm creeped out going into this match. I'm not afraid to say it, but I don't think you're going to spook the title off of me, so pardon my giggling. I couldn't help it. But I'm also giggling at the fact that the question that was just asked of me had the word if in it. If I leave Woodbury Heights.
I have to be objective.
If I'm still the champion. If this happens, guys, my head is starting to spin. When I leave Woodbury Heights, the Valkyrie women's champion and the reigning queen of Valkyrie like I am right now, look, there's always going to be something to prove, because with every single victory I rack up, there's going to be 5, 10, 20 more haters to sit there and cry and boo-hoo about the fact that I freaking rock. So yes, of course, I will always have something to prove, because there's always going to be a brand new hater that I get to put right back in their place, kind of like I did a few minutes ago. But that's okay, because I don't mind being that fighting champion, and I don't mind taking on every single contender that Valkyrie wants to line up for that title. I am dead set on doing any and everything necessary to be reigning as your and everybody else's queen for as long as humanly possible. Mark my words.
Okay. Nick, do you have a question?
Yeah, this is a question for both of you guys. What do you think you bring to the table as a female wrestler that might not have been seen in other female wrestlers that are out there right now?
I'll let the challenger answer first, because I'm kind and nice and polite.
Wow. Somebody grew some slight humility, even if it's all for show. But
No, I'm just, you can rest.
Well, I think what I bring to the table is hopefully an entertaining intensity. My goal is always to be sure that I entertain the people, and as it's always a pleasure to win, and I enjoy beating people. But as long as people leave and they remember the chick with the blue hair that kicked some ass, then my goal has been met. So what I bring to the table hopefully is something that makes people come back and say, I want to see more of that chick.
Okay.
That's lovely. That was a lovely answer, Mistress Belmont.
Well, thank you.
Well, I guess you're welcome. What I bring to the table, how do I describe this? How do I describe what I bring? Here's what I bring to the table, buddy. I bring the most loudmouth, obnoxious, yet I am going to hit you harder than a man and kick your ass to your face attitude in a female wrestler that you're going to find. And if you haven't been able to come watch me in person yet, then obviously Friday the 23rd is the night to do it, because Mistress Belmont will have her very first taste of me as well. I have absolutely no problem being that girl that has on the makeup and who looks really good and everyone wants to whistle and ooh at, but then as I'm staring at you, I'm also beating the crap out of the girl in the ring with me. And I'm beating the crap out of that girl and telling you exactly what I think of you, which, P.S., is not much. The blue hair will, unfortunately, and eventually blend in with the canvas as she is laying there staring up at the lights and wondering where the spookiness has gone as Kacee gets the 1, 2, 3. So to answer your question, I bring Kacee Carlisle, which is, trust me, nobody else that you're going to experience.
Well, we definitely haven't yet on this show, that's for sure. We have a
Told you so.
We have a fan interactive question. A fan has written us. You guys might be familiar with him, John Garabedian. This question.
Sing a song.
Yes, his question is for you, Kacee. He wanted to know: have you ever received songs performed by fans from a fan before he did it for you?
I'm thinking.
Wow, and they think I'm creepy.
You are creepy. I'm going to be staring across the ring at some chick with skin that's paler than snow and blue hair that's bluer than Cookie Monster. What the hell are you talking about, creepy girl? Man, now she interrupted my train of thought. No, John, to answer your question, no. You are the very first fan who has ever written me songs. John would be the first, so that's the answer to his question.
Okay.
That I know of. If anybody has written me songs prior to him, I don't know about it.
So I guess you would rate his song pretty high then, since he was the only one.
That's an unfair question. When there's no comparison, that's a default. His songs are fair.
Okay, John, thanks for getting me in trouble. Okay, moving on.
And I'm sure that you know that too. So don't be busting on John, trying to deflect the heat away from Belmont. She's the one mouthing off about, "Ooh, spooky! I'm going to take your title." Let's just keep at the task at hand, boys.
Okay. This question's from Miss Belmont. Other than the championship, what's your ultimate career goal?
I guess, to speak honestly, my ultimate career goal is just to be remembered. I suppose I'm a little older than most, so I think that my time of, traveling around the country and whatnot is probably past, but I would like to think that I could make an impression on this. What most people don't know is I have known Kacee as long as I've been doing this, and she is somebody that I respect considerably, speaking kind of, very openly. I'm very much looking forward to doing this, and she's one of the people that I've always wanted to get in the ring with, and I've never had the opportunity.